While we, along with other news organizations, have talked, sometimes in detail, about the frightening possibility of massive casualties from a biological attack on this country, that's the potential release of deadly viruses and bacteria into the air, the White House has cautioned top officials to steer clear of saying anything about it until tonight. The man the White House authorized to talk to us, and through us to you, is President Bush's Secretary of Health and Human Services, the former of Wisconsin, Tommy Thompson, who insists that we are safer than we've been led to believe.
We got to make sure that people understand that they're safe and that we're prepared to take care of any contingency, any consequence that develops for any kind of bioterrorism attack.
And you have 3 kids of your own.
I have 3 kids, and tonight I'm telling them that they are safe. And my granddaughter, who is less than 2 years old, is safe as well.
Safe, he told us, because the federal government has a plan to rush doctors and supplies to the site of any attack. And they proved the plan worked after the World Trade Center was destroyed.
We have 8 sites around America, and each one of our sites we have a push package that contains 50 tons of medical supplies, vaccines, antibiotics, gas masks, and ventilators, and so on, that would take care of the American people. And we are able to move those push packages, like we did in the city of New York, within hours. We were able to move from where they was stored into the city of New York within 7 hours. And these 50 tons require 9 semi-trucks or one aircraft tanker to be able to carry it.
Trucks like this one arrived in New York loaded with syringes, IVs, antibiotics for a variety of diseases, including anthrax and plague. Enough supplies to treat 10,000 people. And when New York didn't need them, the trucks returned to their secret staging area to be ready for the next emergency.
That shows you that if it happens, we're ready to perform. We will be able to move in.
Move in with supplies and with personnel specially trained to treat victims of biological or chemical attacks.
We have 7,000 doctors and medical assistance teams throughout America. 7,000 medical personnel that are ready to go.
Then why do we hear such gloom and doom from so many people that we are not prepared, and we're hearing it from people in a position to know?
That's absolutely correct, and I want to tonight try and explain to the American public that I have the best doctors, researchers, scientists, individuals around me that meet daily on this particular subject. And we looked at it and we found that there were some shortcomings. And we have addressed those shortcomings, and we're still addressing those shortcomings.
There are enough hospital beds in America today, because hospitals, you know and I know, have been cutting back.
And they've been cutting
back on personnel, cutting back the number of beds available.
That's true, and that's why, you know, I've asked the Defense if in fact we got into a scarcity of hospital beds, if we could bring in some of their mobile hospitals. They of course said absolutely.
One report has it that only 3% of emergency room workers in hospitals across America, only 3% of them know what the dickens to do about a biological attack.
That's why we have the experts in CDC, and that's why we would be moving the experts in no matter where the outbreak would take place, Mike.
Secretary Thompson's plan relies on a quick federal response, recognizing that local hospitals have neither the expertise nor the equipment to deal effectively with a biological attack. A new report by the General Accounting Office underscores that local facilities would be overwhelmed. George Washington Hospital in downtown D.C. is more prepared than most. The chemical and biohazard expert, Craig Diatley, showed us a decontamination alley.
These showers are designed to decontaminate individuals who have been exposed to a chemical or, in a rare instance, a biologic agent.
GW also has an isolation ward with a large supply of antidotes.
We feel that we're as well prepared as a hospital is likely to be for these types of situations. But even at that, we would quickly need help from the local government and the federal government, depending upon how large the situation rose to.
While Thompson works to improve local preparedness, he told us his quick federal response could contain any outbreak and prevent an epidemic. But Congressman Christopher Shays is not so sure.
Right now, we don't have the ability to respond to a massive number of patients. But, you know, the good news is that we are a lot better off than we were a few years ago.
No one in the Congress knows more about the bio threat than Chris Shays. a Republican from Connecticut, who is chairman of a House Committee on National Security, has held 18 hearings on bioterrorism. Do potential terrorists currently, to your knowledge, have biological weapons?
Well, we know countries that sponsor terrorists and protect terrorists do.
What countries?
You can be pretty certain that Libya and Iran and Iraq and who knows what's in the Sudan.
Is it therefore not likely that terrorists who want to use biological weapons probably have access to them?
I'm absolutely certain that terrorists, if they don't have access to biological agents now, will, and I'm absolutely certain that they'll use it. The expertise exists. The potential that it's being shared with the terrorists is almost a no-brainer.
Tell me something. Possibility of a biological or chemical attack someplace in the United States.
It's possible.
It is.
It's possible, but quite doubtful. I mean,
why do you say doubtful?
It's not very effective in regards to the dissemination. If it's anthrax, it'd have to be some way through the air. And if you're going to put it through crop dusting planes that has been on the news lately, a lot of it is going to be dissipated throughout the air and the atmosphere.